Welcome to Of Men, For Men. Here we'll discuss issues pertaining to the modern day man. Subjects like health, wealth, lifestyle, gear, and relationships. So join me as we dive into the world of men, for men. Hello and welcome to the Of Men, For Men podcast. I am your host, James Rodney Lemax. Yeah. Right. Come on in, kick back, relax. Grab yourself a cool one. All right, I hope everybody's got something to do this weekend. I know we got some good college games about to come on here in just a couple of hours. Some pro football games tomorrow. Hopefully you got something planned with your friends and your family. Or even, just spending some alone time doing something for yourself. Nothing wrong with that. All right, let's get on down to business. Yeah, let's get into this thing. Are you keeping up? You're like, man, what the hell is he talking about? Or am I keeping? Yeah, are you keeping up? What I'm talking about, gentlemen, is, in relationships with females. Are you keeping up? Are you keeping up with her? Are you keeping up with her expectations? Are you keeping up with society's expectations of you? Really, you shouldn't give a crap about any of that, to be honest. But that's how it falls on us. Now when I speak about stuff, I'm always speaking in generalities. There's always exceptions to the rule. There's always an outlier. So remember, whenever I'm talking in generalities. Yes, I'm painting with a broad brush, but I'm not trying to cover everybody or include everybody. I'm just talking in normal circumstances. Now, females, for the most part, get treated a whole hell of a lot differently than men do. When they're brought up, hey, they're the princess, daddy's girl, and, a lot of them, not all, just get treated differently. They just get a smile and a look, and they can get what they want. I know you've seen the commercials and in movies and stuff like that where, the girl gets pulled over by a cop and the first thing she does is unbutton the top button on her blouse. Trying to gain a little favor. She, puts on them, puppy dog eyes, or starts boo-hooing or something, trying to gain a little favor. But they get treated differently. Men just supposed to suck it up no matter what. Don't matter. Just suck it up. So, by the time you get involved with a female, or you trying to date a female, we have to do all, again, I say all, I shouldn't say that. We have to do the majority of the work. We have the heavy lifting here. We have to make the initial contact for the most part. There are women who, initiate. But I'm talking majority, not minority. And I know times are changing. I know I'm behind the curve a little bit, but again, I'm speaking from my experience. I know things may be a little bit different. But men, for the majority of the time, have to do the initial contact, trying to get the number, calling, doing the chit chat, carrying conversation, trying to get her to smile, trying to get her to laugh, trying to get that first date, trying to impress, take her out to a nice place, take her out to a nice restaurant. It seems like for men, we're the ones that are always doing. We're always the ones that are sacrificing. It seems now. Again, don't nail me to the cross and start sending me messages and stuff. I'm talking in generalities. That we have to do the heavy lifting, all the work in the relationship. It's very rare that you run into a female, and there are some who reciprocate, who just out of the blue do stuff for you for no reason. No reason at all. Just to make you happy. And I can name off, some things here, but we'll try to keep this PG. We'll try to keep this a family show. Even though this is made for men, but I don't want to get profane. But us men, know what we like, and But say, like Bill Burr said, Bill Burr had a good bit about this. He goes, one day my wife, I'm in the garage, I'm doing this, that, and the other, and my wife comes in and she had made me a sandwich, had the chips on the side and everything. It was, whatever sandwich it was his favorite, and, had it all fixed up and had it cut, diagonally. This is Bill Burr now. Had his chips or his Doritos or whatever it was his thing. It was his, favorite deal. And gave him a nice ice cold beer and said, "Here you go, honey." And then she got in the car and left. He couldn't believe it. Something just out of the blue. He didn't ask for it, wasn't expecting it. He was out there busting his balls, trying to do something in the garage for her. And she just out of the blue just did that for him. And then she just left him to himself. Took off for a couple hours, whatever. She was probably shopping, spending his money, but and apparently, it hadn't happened since, because he was talking about in this bit that he still remembers that to this day. That he does all the work. He's a good father. He's a good husband. It seems like he's always the one that needs work. That he's always the one that needs improvement. That needs to change. That his wife is somehow some completed work already. She's good to go just the way she is. There's nothing. There's nothing wrong with her. She has no faults. And he says he still remembers that act of kindness to this day. Something he has to go back to, to remember some peace and some joy, in his mind. And that's the thing, females kind of just expect you to just flow and follow and keep up with their pace. If a female gets bored, then you're just supposed to, whatever you're doing, entertain them. And I've always said only boring people get bored. You can always find something to do. You know, you can read, you know, start a project, you know, go jog or something, you know, run around the block a couple of times. You know, see how bored you are then. You'd be tired, you know. But, you know, it seems like men are the ones that are always giving. We have to do that, and females are always expecting. And that's just in normal situations. Don't mess around and get hooked up with a younger female. I've had those experiences too. I've had a wife that was 10 years younger than me. And yeah, there were times, you know, for the most part, she, you know, pretty good to go. But there were times, you know, but she liked to go and do stuff. So, you know, you had to go and do stuff. And I had a girlfriend one time that was about 20 years younger than me. And she was always on the go. And I told her, I said, well, at a certain point, I just kind of give up on it. I'm like, you know what? When you want, you know where I'm at. You know where I stay. You know, I had an apartment at the time. You know where I am. When you want to come and spend time with me, then you come and spend time with me. I'm not going to be out there running the street, running around with you doing this, that, and the other thing. I don't have the time or the energy to do that. When you want to be with me, then you come and you be with me. You carve out that time. You know, I mean, you know, even when I was married, yeah, at that point, you know, I done, you know, traveled the United States, you know, the continental United States, seen the continental United States, traveled around the world when I was in the service, been in the service, had all those experiences, been in combat. You know, I'm tired. You know, I'm like, hey, look, I've been there, I've done that, I got the t-shirt, you know, I'm done. You know, I don't need to do all that stuff. But, you know, females are different. They have to keep up with the Joneses, so to speak. You ever heard, I don't know if you heard that expression, that was kind of a 70s and 80s kind of a thing, you know, where their neighbor gets a new car, so you got to get a new car. You know, they move into a new house in their new neighborhood, then you have to, you know, keeping up. You got to keep up. Well, same thing with these young ladies, especially the young ones. Older ones, you know, they probably expect a little less. So you probably, you know, if you're in my shape, if you're in my age group, you're probably a little bit better off. But if you're getting involved with, you know, younger ladies, you know, they wanting to go and do. And you have to be able to go and do and keep up. And should it be that way? No. They should be satisfied with just spending simple, quiet time, you know, doing simple things with you because they enjoy being with you and spending time with you, being in your presence, being with you. You know, I've always said this, and I know I read it or heard it somewhere. It's not what you're doing. It's not the activity. It's who you're doing it with. You know, it's not about the activity. It's who you're with that's what counts. But I guess for the most part, you know, young ladies don't see that until they hit the wall. Then once they hit that wall, then they're like, well, where have all the men gone? Where did they go? It's like, well, you ran most of them off because, you know, they couldn't keep up. You know, the good guys, you didn't want nothing to do with. You was out there running around chasing, you know, Chad and Tyrone. You know, too busy doing that. Didn't want to spend time with, you know, with Chuck, or Terrence. Didn't want to spend no time with them. He was out there, chasing those alphas. And those alphas, they'll be nice to you. Of course they will. They'll be charming. They'll be charming. But that's what they do, because they're that, top 10, 15, 20%. I generally just say the top 20, but I mean top 10, but you got those guys that, they can just run and gun and pick up females left and right. But yeah, they'll be charming and they'll be nice to them. And that's what they want. They want somebody that's going to keep up with them. But it's short-lived. And the nice guys, they don't want nothing to do with them until they hit the wall. And then it all circles back. It all comes back around. Where did all the men go? You were too busy running the street. There were a lot of good guys out there. If you'd have just slowed down just long enough to give them a shot, give them a chance, take a look at them, give them an opportunity. But these females are too busy, trying to be out there amongst them, living the life, and they expect men to provide that. It's expected, and if you can't keep up, you'll be gone. This is one of my sayings: no money, no honey. Especially if you can't keep up financially. You can't spend the money. And I know there are some females, oh no, it doesn't matter. Yeah, it matters. It always matters. Yeah, of course. They want security. They want you to be able to protect and to provide. But they also expect you, to entertain and to do things for them. And, if they want to go do this, then you need to drop what you're doing and go do it with them. But, on the other hand, you're not supposed to have any extracurricular activities. You can't go out with your buddies. And I'm not talking about going out to clubs now. They shouldn't be doing that with any females either. If she's going out and doing that female night thing, girls' night out, wrong answer. Wrong answer. You might as well just cut your losses on that. Because they're the worst ever. They're worse than men when it comes, when they're going out. I ain't saying they, hooking up and taking guys home and nothing like that, but they're shopping. They're looking to see what's out there. They're putting themselves out there. And don't think that they might not be taking numbers or giving out numbers. For future reference. They're networking. They might be ready to monkey branch on you, swing from you to another dude. You don't know. You never have no idea what's going on in their head. Because by the time they express it, I've learned this with females, by the time they express it, they've already thought it. It's already, it's already been thought out. And especially if they act on something, they've thought about it for a while. They didn't just all of a sudden act on impulse and just do something. They have thought about what they're doing or about to do or have done. They thought about that. It didn't just happen. You're just finding out about it. But are you keeping up? That's the thing. Are you keeping up? And if you feel like you have to keep up, then you shouldn't. You shouldn't have to feel like you have to keep up. Now, should you want to, do nice things and, of course, you should always treat, your lady friends females that you're involved with or intimate with, you should treat them with the utmost dignity and respect. Try to make them feel comfortable and entertain them. Have a good time. Nothing wrong with that. But, or there has to be some give. That's what you're doing, and some take. They should be reciprocating. And now, again, don't get me wrong. You don't give to get. Don't think you're going to take a girl out to a nice dinner and all of a sudden, you're going to get a little action. That's the wrong answer now. Come on. Don't do that. Don't be that guy. Well, I did this for you and this and you ought to be able, break me off a little. No, wrong answer. If that's your game, then, your game is weak. You don't do that. You don't set females up like that. You want females to be with you because they want to be with you. It's a whole lot better that way. When they're giving themselves to you freely because they want to. That's the ticket. Then you can go in deep. Yeah, go in. Yeah. Then it gets good to you. But yeah, gentlemen, if you're having to keep up, if you're constantly having to maintain this, that's why they call, some females are high maintenance. Some are not, some are. If she's high maintenance like that, you're constantly, feel like she may or may not leave if you don't do this or do that. Or she threatens to leave and you're like, oh no, baby, don't do that. I do this and I do. Man, let it walk. Tell her to kick rocks. Encourage her. Say, bye. Again, you shouldn't have to do all of that. You shouldn't have to prove yourself constantly. Should there be exchanges of niceties along the way? Absolutely, on both sides. That shows you care about each other on both sides. But it should not be one way. All right, gentlemen, I'm going to close up with that. I don't want to get too long. I could go further, but man, I hope y'all have a nice weekend. Enjoy yourselves. Enjoy your friends and family. Take care of yourself. Wrap yourself up nice and warm. It's starting to get chilly. It's about 46, I think, here where I'm at in the South. Yeah, I know you couldn't tell I was from the South, right? With my accent. But yeah, it's getting a little chilly. So man, take care of yourselves. Don't get no whooping cough and don't get the coof. All right? All right, gentlemen. I have been James Rodney Lemax, and you have been great. Yeah. This will be a weekly podcast. You can find it on the Anchor app and anywhere podcasts are available. We're also on Facebook and Instagram. I look forward to seeing you there.